All right.
Hi, I'm Michelle Keep.
I'm Joshua Keep.
And welcome to our year-end podcast.
Yay, 2013.
What a great year it's been.
It's been unreal, to say the least.
It has, yeah. I mean, it was only a couple years ago that we really started publishing professionally.
And then the second we started publishing professionally, we got so stressed out that we gave ourselves carpal tunnel syndrome and couldn't write or touch a computer for 6 months to a year.
Something like that. It doesn't sound completely right, but yeah.
It was a very, very long summer, we'll put it that way, but very fun.
Yeah. And now here we are anyways, the end of 2013, and we've got over 60 books published. With
like 20 not being allowed on Amazon right now.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks to all those lovely rules about content and whatnot.
Yeah, they don't like our incest very much, or our barely legal, so...
Yeah. Apparently that's the thing.
Yeah. Written words, not good.
19-year-olds.
Which is totally legal here in Canada, by the way. It's legal at 16 here in Canada.
Yeah, but you can't write about that.
Yeah, you can only write about people who are 18 plus. Go Canada.
Hypothetically. But then apparently you can't sell it hardly.
No. So,
yeah.
So it's been a very different year than what we're used to.
Yeah, there's been a lot of success, but there's been a lot
of work,
a lot of annoying ups and downs with the rules.
I just completely had to remake the Warlord's Concubine cover because Amazon pushed it into Erotica, saying that the cover was too naughty. So, there's another hour that had to go towards mitigating some damage to make up for some delicate sensibilities.
Yeah, which is funny because, it's one of our most popular novels. So, maybe a lot of you have read it, but the cover is just, a woman wearing a dress, and, you can see her midriff.
You can see her hips, which we think is probably the problem. But, it's very tame. Hips. I don't know if you guys have seen, the covers for, the 1970s fantasy and, sci-fi books, but they had, breasts everywhere. So, yeah. I don't know. It's like the cover of heavy metal,
18 breasts per square inch.
Yeah. So, obviously, I come from a very 9-to-5 background and working every day, but ever since we earnestly started publishing at the beginning of 2013, things have been strange and awesome, and we're receiving something that I can only call fan mail, which sounds so conceited and strange, and I don't really know how to deal with that.
Yeah.
We both kind of feel a little bit weird calling it fan mail, but we don't know what else to call it.
Yeah, like you said, it sounds kind of conceited to say, well, yes, I'm reading fan mail. But, that has genuinely been the answer. At numerous occasions this year when people, family have asked me, well, what are you doing right now?
Oh, I'm responding to fan mail.
I'm answering fan mail. It would have been the genuine answer, but I just don't have the ego to say that out loud.
Yeah. So just for you, our lovely podcast viewers, we love you.
Yeah. But it's been great, and we love talking with people who are into our writing, and hearing people's theories and opinions on stuff has been the biggest excitement for me. Just actually reading someone's long, in-depth analysis of, the thought, the characters' motivations and the plot and something, even when I didn't agree or, it wasn't what I had intended.
Oh my god, that's really interesting. I never thought of it that way. We're the authors, didn't think of it that way, but it's something so interesting, and you kind of have to wonder if that was there underneath the surface, or,
Yeah.
Readers often open our eyes to a lot of things that we didn't see, because everybody has their own biases, including us, so...
And then it's just really satisfying, of course, too, when they completely get what you're going for.
Yeah. When, like, you feel somebody gets something that you wrote that's so personal and having somebody else get it, it's just so reassuring.
Yeah, because, I mean, you sure as hell don't get you.
Yeah, exactly. I have no fucking clue what's going on in my body or brain or anything else that has to do with me.
I mean, I don't know because all I know is that you're not really a human being. You're a pod person here on Earth infiltrating humanity.
He keeps saying that just because I am a little clumsy and a little naive, and I say things that other people interpret very differently than how I intend.
Human beings, yes.
Right.
Have a
no.
different interpretation of those things than you pod people do. Yeah. I'm kind of strange, I guess. You're lacking in social graces, politely. But,
I could be great. I could be really good. I mean...
Sure, yeah.
I blunder my way through life, and it works.
You're very successful. You do great. You're just so charming about your blundering. It's cool.
It's perfect, yeah.
But, and one of the more amusing ways is when a reader gets what you're going for, but they don't realize that they got it. One of the reviews for our latest novel, Magic Academy, I remember they said, like, they wanted more background information, lore in the world, because they didn't understand why, in this world, elves had a kind of higher station in society than humans. And they said, like, it's said in the novel that this was the reviewer that, elves are just, more proficient at magic, whatever. But, from the actual events of the story, it seems rather it's more like just that the elves just happen to have more money and more access to education and that sort of thing that allows them to rise up. And there's an inconsistency. I'm like, well, not really. Like, you figured it out. You don't need any more background.
You nailed it
out.
Yeah.
Of course the elves had all this kind of bullshit nonsense about why they thought they were superior.
Because they live longer or are more intelligent or blah, whatever. Blah, blah.
Yeah, and all these ideas were. But no, it really just boiled down to the fact that,
they're the upper class.
They were the upper class. They held a higher station. Their children grew up with access to education and resources that, poor human children didn't have.
And I mean, like, that's one of the things where it's not said, but you could see it in the world. Like, Malin, one of the main characters, he came from a poor background. And, he didn't have the knowledge or proficiency that other elves did, despite him being an elf. And I mean, so even though they say it's because elves are better, well, then we have Malin, who, he's on par with Furia, the main character. And that's because both of them grew up with the same background and the same upbringing. So, it's one of those things that's not said, but it's shown. Yeah.
And I thought it was great. It was kind of cute because, I mean, the reader had seen it. Like, they had figured it out, but they didn't think they had figured it out.
Yeah.
Because we hadn't said it so bluntly, but,
We get a lot of really awesome reviews. Some are really confusing at times, in that, like, today we got one that said that we didn't know what women wanted in their erotica, and that it was for degenerates, and that we should go back to our blow-up doll. And I mean,
you found the part where they said that it's quite obvious that this was written by a man.
Yeah. So
I don't know if you can tell, but despite being a pod person, Michelle definitely
I am in a female body.
Yes. She has a female exterior.
Yeah.
So I think that qualifies.
So I mean,
you?
I do.
I was talking to the listeners.
Well, do you?
Yeah.
Listeners?
Comment.
Okay.
Let us know.
Perfect. But it's funny
She's
because...
a cute pod person.
It's funny because, I mean, the book itself was a monster breeding story.
It's a different one, not Magic Academy.
Yeah, not Magic Academy. This one's just one of our erotic shorts on JM Keep. So, I mean, it's a completely gender-neutral name. We just did that for ease of, making covers and helping people find what they're looking for.
Yeah, certain vendors, like Apple's
Yeah, Apple doesn't allow an ampersand.
They don't allow multiple authors on a book.
So you have to put it...
That's a bizarre, arbitrary rule, so we have to pretend we're one person.
Yeah. So we did JM Keep for all our erotic shorts, and we kept it purposely gender neutral because, you know, we write for both genders and neither genders and, you know, all genders, and we don't really think too much about who's going to like it because, I mean...
We write for ourselves.
Yeah, we write what we like. We're
not marketing people. We don't target a demographic. We don't go out to say, like, we really need to get those 50 Shades people.
Yeah, we are really, really, really bad at that, if you haven't noticed by the fact that we write mostly fantasy, which isn't exactly, like, the hottest genre right now. Yeah. We do what we like. We write what turns us on, what makes us happy, what we want to experiment with, what we maybe even want to see if it turns us on. And, you know, we're not sure. So we'll write it up in a story and see, like, if that does it for us. And
there have been stories we've written where we found out, no, it doesn't do it for us. But we publish it anyways.
Yeah, we once did, like, a Tauren and an Orc fan fiction back in WoW and found that didn't really work for us because all I could think of the entire time was, like, a cowlick. Like, just like a full face, like, cow tongue all over. And it didn't really turn me on, so it was a mental block, let's say that. Kissing, not a Tauren's strong point.
For you, anyways.
For me. For others, I am sure that is a bonus and more power to you.
Yeah. So it was just funny, the idea that there's any sort of one thing that women all want.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of understand. People want to boil things down to familiar things. They figure, I'm a woman and I didn't like this, so all women must not like this. And it's just not at all true. You cannot determine what somebody's going to like by... you know, what gender or what sex they are.
We have quite a lot of male readers, though the bulk of our readership is still female.
Yeah, I think just women tend to read more, but, I mean, on our Facebook page and stuff, you can see the stats, and on our mailing list, we could see the stats, and we have a lot of males that are into our stuff. So, we think that's awesome, because, I mean, men don't get catered to enough in, not so much erotic shorts, because I think a lot of erotic shorts are written with men in mind, but like for longer stories, I don't think they're considered so heavily, personally. Okay. But I just like writing for us, and we just happen to be a male and a female living together in joyous harmony.
That's true. I can't really comment on what the field is like for erotica, fantasy, or romance targeted at men or women, because I just don't read it.
Yeah.
It's been my, like, what constantly get questions, like, the favorite thing interviewers like to ask us when we do an interview with websites or blogs is, you know, like, oh, where do you get from, what other, like, erotica writers or romance writers were your inspiration? And I kind of have to fudge it a bit, because I know they don't want to hear, well, I don't read that. Yeah. But to be honest, and it's not like I dislike the genre, because, I mean, I write it. Obviously, I like it, and I love writing it. It's that it's a conscious effort. I don't like to be influenced by other people in, like, the field. When I write, I like it to be my creation.
I'm not sure... Maybe some of you have been watching our Twitters, but we've been watching Peaky Blinders lately, which is a 1920s gangster movie in, where is it? Birmingham. So I was looking up the information about it, and on the Wikipedia page, it said that some critics had compared it to another show, Boardwalk Empire. And so that's around the same time. It's about Prohibition era. I haven't seen it or anything. But the director of Peaky Blinders said to the critics that he's never watched them. He said he's never seen The Wire. He's never seen Boardwalk Empire. He's never seen any of them. And when he was asked why, he said, it's sort of a deliberate thing, and I don't really want to be looking at other people's work because it does affect what you do inevitably. And I think that's what we try to do. We try to avoid that selling, repackaging and selling of ideas, whether intentional or not. We don't like to be just writing what somebody else did and doing it in our own way. We want to do something completely unique.
Yeah, and as much as you can, right?
Well, yeah, and I mean, I think we're doing a good job with it because a lot of our reviews and a lot of our comments from fans and stuff is that our stuff is just so unique. They've never read anything like that before. And, I think a lot of that is just because we don't read the genre anymore. We used to before we started writing. But once we started, actually writing our own stories, it faded into the background.
Yeah. One of my favorite sort of reader comments is this was disgusting. I couldn't get any enjoyment out of it. I was just repulsed instead of turned off. But it was really well written and very unique. I have to say, that is probably one of my favorite comments to get.
Yeah, it's nice to know that even when somebody is just, disgusted with you, they acknowledge that you have some talent, which is, again, I feel so egotistical even saying it. But, we've been writing for a very long time. I started writing when I was a kid, and so did Josh, and we started writing seriously when we were playing World of Warcraft, and we started writing stories for each other and for our guild. We started writing a lot of erotica. Mm-hmm. And we've practiced quite a lot.
Yeah. We first made our first forays into writing together 13 years ago.
Yeah.
Almost. 13 years ago when we first met online back then, back in the olden days.
And, on AOL Instant Messenger.
Yeah, shh, don't tell them that. They'll
Sorry.
think less of us. They will definitely think less of us now. Cut this part out.
Okay.
And, so as we met in some posh country club, we began writing, little, love stories to each other in the mail. Snail mail. On paper.
Yeah. Written probably in English class while I was declining to read the prescribed book of the month. I'm a rebel.
Yeah, you are. But it just comes natural being a pop person, so
yeah.
I wouldn't brag about it too much.
You're sweet. So yeah, 2013 had so much that was unexpected.
Yeah.
So many people who have just really been amazing and who have really liked our stuff and who have actually contacted us and told us about it and asked for more, and it's just odd. We were keynote speakers at Sex Expo here in May.
Yeah, that was fun. Weird.
Yeah. We did. Well, I did 2 erotic readings, and we did 2 talks, one on fetishes and how to bring them up with your partner, and the other on how to write erotica. And we met a lot of really cool local fans who had actually read our stuff and who came up to us and were talking about it and who were really excited about it and the chance to meet us. And that was just something surreal. We figured that would be something.
Being stopped in the aisle on our way out of the lecture hall by someone who was just completely blown away by our work.
Yeah.
She just completely blocked off her way, held out her arms. Like, oh my god.
She was so adorable too. And that too is what really, firstly, that's why we podcast now, is because that was so much fun. But that also really opened my eyes up to the fact that you cannot judge what somebody wants to read by what they look like.
Or how they behave.
Or how they behave.
Day-to-day lives.
That woman, I think she said she had 4 kids who were teenagers. And she, loved our stuff. We had a few couples who were really into us and really digging our talks, and they were chatting with us afterwards. And
a few people who tried to hit on us and get us into 4-way or 3-way.
Yeah, which Yeah, we're still shy with stuff like that.
We're not that cool.
Yeah, we're not that cool. But
wait. Let's cut this part out.
Okay.
We were banging like crazy for weeks
everybody. Yeah,
yeah.
I actually have some new friends on my FetLife list from the expo, which is awesome.
My dick is still chafed.
Shut up. And I still chat with them. Yeah, so, I mean, that's something that we figured maybe in like 20 years we might be keynote speakers for something, or we might be able to do something like this, and it's happened already, and it's just, I don't know, I still think it's one of those things that hasn't really sunk in. It's been like 8 months or something like that.
Yeah. This is also the year, too, we first started selling actual paperbacks. Yep.
Yeah, I learned how to go on CreateSpace and set that all up, and like actually getting a paperback novel of, filled with your words.
Yeah.
Is really, like, every time we get one, like, in the mail, because we have a bunch of them in paperback now, and we give them out for prizes for people who are on our newsletter or people on Goodreads. So every time we get a box of them, it's like, oh my god, this is our stuff, this is our words, this is our everything. So
it wears off.
No, it doesn't.
Oh well, the last one, getting the Magic Academy, our biggest novel to date,
it was
strange because it was such a huge novel.
It was huge. It's yeah, like compared to all of our other books, I mean, I think it's probably about twice the size of Magic or The Mistress. So I mean, it's a big book.
Yeah. Yeah, it's double the length of some of our other novels.
Yeah. So that was surreal as well. There's a lot of great coming out of this year.
Mm-hmm.
I think we learned how to manage stress a bit better.
Yeah, it took some doing, but...
We had to take a little break in August because a certain one of us, I'm not going to name names, it was me,
a pod person,
started stressing out so much trying to figure everything out and how to do things perfectly. And, I've just come to the conclusion that I'm not going to be perfect and I'm not great at marketing, and that's okay because, I'm not... I don't have to be great at everything, I guess.
Right.
I try.
Human beings are not particularly known for being perfect at a whole lot of things.
Yeah, but for those who don't know, I mean, I take on a lot of different challenges, and I enjoy them. I write, I do the formatting for the books, I make the covers, I do the web design, and... maintaining the website, run a bunch of forums. I edit this podcast, so hopefully it's not too terrible. And I do all of this, and I want to be great at all of this. And I've now decided that I want to start drawing again. And I'm also thinking of taking up cosplay, because I don't have enough on my plate. So, and I also paint models in my spare time.
Yeah.
So... I like being good at a lot of different artistic endeavors, we'll say. And, marketing is not very artistic.
No, it's kind of a pain in the ass. And I don't know what the hell to do with it.
Yeah, me neither. So, I'm just going to keep talking at my lovely microphone and talking with our awesome fans and just trust that that'll work.
And looking at some of the marketing efforts by the big multi-billion-dollar corporations, I'm not too convinced they have all that great of an idea what they're doing either. So I don't feel too bad about it personally.
Yeah,
but then I'm not a perfectionist like my podcast co-host here.
Yeah, apparently, like the average earnings for self-published authors is like $5,000 a year or something.
Median.
The median.
According to an article that was linked to us by a reader, I believe. It was said, yes, indie authors have a median earning of $5,000 a year, which is, of course, really low.
Yeah.
Though, I mean...
It's not a living income, but it's good.
No.
It's good.
It's a supplementary income for a lot of people that, that's a nice chunk of extra change for what I'm assuming would be a hobby that you love.
Yeah.
For a lot of them.
Yeah.
But now the big thing was that, for published authors, the median income was, and of course this was phrased very differently, was $5,000 to $9,000. Now,
so it's not a big jump.
So it's not a huge jump, and it's still, of course, not a living wage, living income or whatever. But I mean, assuming it's the upper end, $9,000, and keeping in mind that the publishers, I mean, these days they don't just pluck up fresh people with their first book. That almost never happens. What they do these days is they tend to keep an eye on the sales.
Yeah, who's doing well?
Who's doing well of the indie authors? Like, when they hit a certain success level, like once they enter into the top, what is it, like 100 or 10?
Yeah,
or so.
Once they get into the top 100 of all of Amazon, that's when people start getting approached by agents and publishing companies, I've heard. Right. Yeah. But I mean, like, I'm friends with a lot of very successful people who are, awe-inspiring to me, because it's insane how well they've been doing at writing, and it's awesome. But, like, they haven't been approached until they've reached the top 100, and even then, some of them haven't been approached, even though they've been making, dozens of thousands. Is that even a way that it could be said? Like, tens of thousands, we'll say.
We'll make allowances for
of thousands of dollars, like, every month. Even then, it's not a guarantee to be approached. So, publishing is changing a lot.
We have broken into the top 100, which was another big achievement for this year.
Yes. We've been on, like, top 100 for a lot of different lists. Dark fantasy, fantasy romance, paranormal romance. I'm sure there's a ton more. I can't remember right now, but I know it's been a lot. So
we've done well. But I mean, my point was that so publishers are apparently only at most managing to raise the median income of authors, $9,000, but they're picking already successful people from indie authors. So I mean, what that indicates to me is that the publishers aren't offering financially. They're not offering much, if anything. It seems that they would be, because if you're your expected median income as an indie author is $5,000.
Yeah,
but your best case, your best kind of median income offer with a publisher is going to be just a few extra thousand over that a year.
Yeah, I think it just depends on what you're hoping to get out of it. I mean, for us, the biggest reason that we've decided to self-publish isn't the money. Because, there's also a lot of hassle and a lot of trouble self-publishing. It's not just something that you easily do and throw up a book and hope for the best. Right. But, I mean, our biggest thing is that we publish and we write stuff that publishers won't touch. Yeah. We like dark fantasy, dark romance, dark erotica, anything with dark in front of it. We like twisted relationships. We like things that don't go well. We don't write often monogamous and typical romance.
We got all the monogamy we need right here.
Yeah.
I don't want to write that shit.
We've been together for like 13 years now. That's enough.
Yeah.
So, we write a lot of people, or like a lot of stories with characters that sleep around, a lot of characters that, don't fall in love. They're falling in lust, or they're, they're fickle. They want to try new things. They want to try new people.
Or their romances meet tragedy.
Yeah, and it's not always like, threesomes or happy menage a trois either. Like, it's a lot of the time, a lot of conflict. Not even so much love triangles. It's just like a person will sleep with another character and then leave them in the morning, and that's it.
The only kind of love triangle that we've written, I think of in the traditional sense, would be their newest novel,
Magic Academy. Yeah. And that was different and challenging for us on a lot of different fronts, because it was more, I guess, typical in a lot of ways.
It wasn't how we set out to make it typical like that. And I didn't even honestly have a love triangle in mind when I set out, like, coming up with the plot, and that. It was just how things went.
Yeah. I mean, it's all about finding what fits the story. Yeah. And I wrote a blog post on One-Handed Writers about reader expectations and how we often don't meet them. And that's just because we do what feels right to the story, and a lot of the times writing to a formula doesn't feel authentic to us, and we don't do our best work when we are writing to a formula.
No, I don't like writing the formulas.
Yeah. Now, I know a lot of authors who are amazing at it and who can take a tired formula and make it fresh and new without changing what makes it integral. We don't have that skill very much. We're a lot better at twisting.
I don't know. We don't set out to do it.
No, it's just how it goes.
We do it at times.
Yeah, it's all about what fits the story.
Yeah, but I think that's very much how like Magic Academy ended up going, our newest novel, and that's been getting nothing but rave reviews. We've not gotten a single negative review that I can think of, and we've had dozens of them.
Yeah, no, it's been going really well, which is awesome. Actually, that leads me into the next thing that we wanted to talk about was we've been getting a lot of mail from people who want to help us.
Oh, wait, no, screw that. One more thing.
Oh, no.
Yes, Quiet Pod person. This year was also the year that showed my marketing director, Miss Pod person,
not this,
was wrong.
No.
In her insistence that we write contemporary, boring erotica and romance.
No.
Because, like, our top-selling books for the year were ridiculous stuff, like Bred by the Monster in the Forest, which was like a gory, monstrous thing where this big 8-limbed creature knocks up this woman, and in the second novel was this big gory climax where she gives birth to these hideous monster things, and that was like bestseller of the year.
Josh seems to think that anytime I recommend we do something contemporary, it is because I hate him and I want him to suffer, and that I'm only doing it for marketing reasons. However, he keeps denying to acknowledge the fact that perhaps I enjoy contemporary pieces and think that they could be very sexy and exciting.
Now all our readers...
And he begrudgingly
lost respect for you.
Admitted that, he didn't have a horrible time when I had him write a threesome story that was totally contemporary, and no one shifted into a wolf, and nobody was a witch, and nobody was an elf or a demon.
I was being kind. Anyways, you're missing the point.
You're missing the point.
This was the year of my victory over the alien infiltrators in our midst.
Great, yeah, perfect.
So expect a lot more fantasy, sci-fi, and weird shit coming from us, because we realize now that that's what our fans want. And to hell with all that boring stuff.
And that was the name, the temporary name of our threesome novel was Contempt Boring.
Yeah. I
named that.
Yeah.
To spite you.
Oh, sure.
Okay, so anyways, if any of you out there want some dark fantasy, erotica, contemporary, or dark... Yeah. If anybody wants some dark, contemporary erotica, please email me. Let me know. I will put my email down below. And you tell me if you want that. Because you know what? I really like... Sky Warren, and I really like Kitty Thomas, and I really like CJ Roberts, and...
I know you don't want that stuff.
No, please.
Email in and tell her how wrong she is.
No, and so if you want a more standard, fair, contemporary kidnapping story, let me know. And Tess, there's a new one, Tess. I haven't read her book yet.
Yeah, and make sure you put in about how it really needs some fucking magic or sci-fi aspects to make it really interesting.
Anyways, as I was saying, before I was so rudely interrupted by these pseudo-facts.
Yeah. Okay, go on with your thing.
We've been getting a lot of mail from people who are interested in helping us out, and they ask how they can do that. So we are actually in the works of finding a couple of different ways that you guys can support us. And
a sweatshop.
Yeah, our J.E.and.M. Keep sweatshop, where you can make books and autograph them for all our fans.
Yeah. While we lash you for erotic titillation and to work faster.
Yes. And you'll all be naked. We might be naked too, sometimes.
I am going to be wearing leather.
Leather kilt. I will make it happen.
Yeah, kilt.
I could do latex, if that's good.
I work out. I've been beefing up.
He has. We have a Bowflex now, and I bought him some power blocks for Christmas. So yeah, he's going to be pretty buff by the time we get our sweatshop up and running.
Yeah.
I've also been going to the gym, and I look pretty awesome.
You do.
Thanks.
You look amazing, especially for a pod person.
I hate you. So, the actual ways that, we're thinking that people can help is, there's going to be a private Facebook group where you can talk with us and get sneak peeks of what's coming up and what we're working on, because we are always working on 10 different things. I think we have 10 different things or something in our
we got a lot going
in
on.
Progress, and we have a bunch going out to editor, and I have 11 stories to publish sometime in the next couple weeks.
We have a big back catalog of stuff we've been working on for years.
So, we're going to be letting everybody know about that, and we're going to have a private group who's going to get the heads up on all this stuff early. We're going to have special giveaways in return for giving us some reviews, honest reviews. Spreading the word.
Yeah, because the best advertisement is word of mouth.
Yeah, and because, you guys seem to want ways to help us, which is weird and awesome, and I love you for it. So there's also this other site called Patreon, where you can become our patron and you can support us.
Sounds sexy.
It does. So we're getting that
patron.
We're getting that set up. So hopefully we'll have that done in the next week or so. And there will be different levels of rewards that you could get. You can get ebooks or Spanx. Digital Spanx.
Yeah.
So we're working on that. So we'll link that in the comments as well. And because by the time I get this edited, I'm not sure what day it will be.
It might be 2014.
It may be, but I'm hoping to have it out for for New Year's Eve.
Yeah, because we know that all of you are just clamoring,
dying. We're 2 months late, and we've actually got a lot of really great comments on the last one about Halloween movies that we could watch.
But we know you're all dying. You're just absolutely dying to spend your New Year's Eve counting down to 2014, listening to the Keeps talk about erotica.
Woo! Well, we watched Dumb and Dumber because it is now a
tradition.
Tradition
is the word we humans use.
Shut up. So yes, Dumb and Dumber. Josh also mentioned that I will be getting drunk for him to take advantage of. I'm not sure if this is going to happen while Dumb and Dumber's on, but we'll see. Also, I have a new camera in the mail, so
Dumb and Dumber always got me in the mood.
I'm hoping that, it might be sexy fun times.
Oh, you. Yo.
Okay.
NSA people, you listening, you can look out for those sexy pictures.
Shh. Don't share them, though. They're private.
Right, yeah. Just hand them around the office like we know you do.
So, one more thing that I think we wanted to talk about was I'm really sorry for my voice, by the way. I've had a cold for the last, 2 or 3 weeks. And
yeah, that's code for my pod person language device is a little haywire because of the cold.
Then why is your throat fucked?
This is just how I sound.
Oh, okay. So yeah, things that we're looking forward to next year. I think is going to be a good topic because there is so much that we're looking forward to next year. Sequels. The year of the sequels.
Yeah. We got a lot of sequels coming up.
Yes. So for those of you that have been following our stuff, you know that we have a few books that we want to do sequels for. I think we're starting with The Mistress.
Yeah.
Which is our 1920s historical noir mystery novel set in the flapper era.
Yeah.
In Prohibition era. Which is super hot genre. People are clamoring for it.
That was my favorite novel of the last year.
I think
that we
That
did.
not one was
egotistical and saying it was the favorite novel of any author. But
yeah, our novels. That was inspired by Call of Cthulhu. It's Call of Cthulhu without the Cthulhu.
Yeah,
just Call of.
Yes.
That's the only time that Josh was ever willing to remove the sci-fi aspects was when it was placed in the 1920s.
Yeah.
Because he can't do anything contemporary.
No, I live in the present. Okay? I mean, I know you pod people are kind of in a flux between times and stuff like this.
Josh just doesn't know how people date because we've been going out since he was 17.
Yeah.
So he doesn't understand human relationships.
And since I was dating a pod person at the time...
I never understood how people dated.
I never really had a clue.
No. So yeah, we're going to be working on The Mistress, which Josh tells me there will be travel involved. That's pretty much all I know of at this point.
Yeah. Just sit back, sweet cheeks. I'll be driving the writing car.
Speaking of cars of driving that he is going to be driving, we're also doing The Warlord's Concubine. I think that one
didn't work as a segue. I am so embarrassed. I'm sorry, people. The quality of segues has just degraded shamefully on this podcast. Refunds are in the mail as I speak.
Perfect. Anyways.
Yeah, Magic Academy, sequel to that.
Yes.
Will be coming after The Mistress.
And then The Warlord's Concubine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, all of them are already planned out.
We just actually have to sit down and write them.
Yeah, we gotta do that work shit. Like, when I became a writer, I thought I was just gonna be sitting around being mopey and going to coffee shops and shit, but it turns out you gotta spend a lot of fucking time writing stuff down.
That's what my dad thinks Josh does.
Yeah.
Incidentally.
Because being a pod person, she didn't realize when she told her family that, oh, Josh is a writer, that in human parlance that means, oh, he's a useless layabout who just sits around the house being a bum. But no, I make money, damn it.
And you sit around the house doing it.
Yes, I sit around the house doing it. I don't go to coffee shops.
No. Josh is not a very social person. He's not very good with people.
I talk at people, like now, not with.
Yeah. And he also makes insulting comments about his loved one.
Oh, you figured out it's insulting?
Shut up.
Oh, honey, I'm sorry. I didn't know your understanding of human interactions had progressed that far.
Yeah. This is great. This is super.
Take my hand.
Yeah, perfect.
Sorry.
So, and we'll also be putting out a lot more shorts because sometimes after a long day of working, I just need some good old-fashioned erotic shorts.
Yeah.
So if you have any requests for those, let us know because we can, do one of those a night.
Well, we can write it in a night sometimes, but
yeah.
All the other work takes longer. All that boring publishing, marketing shit. But, yeah. And I do think we'll have to do a third part to Bred by the Monster in the Forest.
Yeah. We have,
soon.
Yeah. We have another one that's really exciting. An erotic short that has, plot. It's in a futuristic sci-fi world where women are rare and have been turned into sex toys.
Yeah. Through either surgery or a complex process of like drugs and hormonal injections and stuff.
Yeah. So we have the first 2 written in that series, and it's actually really cool. It's weird and different and fun. Because it seems like such a easy, I guess, concept. Like, it seems so light and just kind of carefree because it follows one of these women who, you know, all she cares about is sex. But there's such a dark world behind her. And, you know, it kind of comes out in a lot of the men's interactions with one another. Yeah,
she's special because in this sort of world, women had been kind of relegated to, you know, breeding and sexual objects. And so most of the women are, in a manner of speaking, kind of lobotomized in a sense. They've kind of lost their humanity. But she hasn't been. She's, by some new method, has been made to be this sort of bimbo sex toy through like drugs and hormonal therapy. So, you know, her core person, who was a very clever and bright young woman, is still within her somewhere. It's just been through
locked away.
Behavioral therapy, drugs, and hormonal treatments. She's been transformed into something she wasn't.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's really cool, and that'll be out, I don't know, in another month or 2. It has to go for editing first.
Yeah. Send that over to the editor.
What else do we have?
We have an editor.
Yeah, we have a very awesome editor named Phoebe. We actually have a bunch of different editors that we use for different things, depending on what type of editing we need. But she's our main one because she does really good proofreading. She did When Dreamers Wake as well, which is one of our longer novels, which is male-centric.
Yeah. It's full of male fantasy stuff.
And as well, we're going to try to get the Tiffany series back on Amazon. So hopefully in the next week or so, that'll be back under slightly new titles again.
Until they take it down again or something.
Yeah, so, you know, we'll see how that goes. We also have a new series coming out called Botched University, which was so much fun to write. It's about, I don't know, a guy, a ice elf, I think. Is he an ice elf?
Yeah, that sounds right.
He's an elf of some kind, and I can't really remember. He has gray skin, though. Him going to university and finding out that one of his professors is playing around with certain potions that make him virile.
He gets involved in kind of a sort of... He goes looking for this underculture of, you know, debauchery within the university that we've heard about. And it turns out to be more than he bargained for.
And it's awesome. So we have the first 3 done of that, and we're going to be working on the 4th one. So that should be fun.
Fun.
Yeah. All right. I think that means we've probably talked enough. So just a couple of ending notes, if that's cool.
Yeah.
Josh?
We're going to put this on hold and take reader votes. And we'll come back with the end notes. If you vote for it. Go. Actually, screw that. We're on iTunes now.
Yay! iTunes! Hopefully, we've done up the submission. And hopefully they'll just say, yes, okay.
Apple can be a real...
Yeah, Apple's hard. Sorry if you're listening, Apple.
I didn't mean to hurt your feelings.
Yeah, we love you. We love you. We do very well on your platform when you allow us to publish there.
Yeah. Let's get along better.
Yeah. So, we're doing that through Libsyn. I don't know how to actually pronounce it. That's a word that I've only read online because I don't think it's a real word.
I think it's just the name of the website.
Yeah. So,
names don't need to be real words.
So,
not in human land.
Shut up! So, we have an RSS feed if anybody is more interested in following our podcast that way. I'll put it in the links as well. Also, I'm not sure if you've maybe noticed, we have a new YouTube channel because for some reason YouTube is very frustrating at times too. Sorry, YouTube. So
I'm not.
The first YouTube channel was under my personal Google Plus account. So I changed that. So now it's under a separate account, which means that if you subscribed on our original channel, you have to subscribe to our new channel. This will be the last podcast going up on the old channel. So switch.
Yeah. And subscribe and like and all that.
Yeah, please, because, I really like talking to you guys, and it makes my day when I get to wake up and see that we have mail from readers or comments or likes or whatever. Yes. Share us around. It helps a lot. It gives us
happy feelings in our pants
and
panties.
And in our brains, whichever is more important.
That's less sexy.
Also in the future, we're going to try to get some awesome guests on here.
We've been meaning to do a lot of different stuff, but, our time is very limited.
Yeah, and we're really erratic people. Like, I decided that we're doing this podcast, 5 minutes before we started, and then we went over our notes for all the things that we wanted to talk about on the podcast.
All the questions we have.
Yeah, so hopefully...
Which we hope we addressed in our random sort of way.
Yeah, we don't really take a questions and answers zone, because,
We just kind of make note of the answers and then kind of squeeze them into our big, long, random blather.
Yeah. So that's fun anyways. So, in the new year, we're going to be working on our own stuff. We're also going to be working on our other projects, which we have... I'm the admin of One-Handed Writers, which is a blog for erotica authors and readers. So if you're interested in that, the link is down below. We have a lot of really great authors. Selena Kitt, Skye Warren, who I mentioned earlier.
And a bunch of our lovely Darkness writers who have been doing well and continually better with their publishing too, which I'm very happy to see.
Yeah, Leona Reich is there. Cerise Dulis is there. A. Vivian Bain. They're all people from Darkness who have been doing really well with writing and have really interesting perspectives on self-publishing. We have people who have been doing this for years, like Selena Kitt's been publishing since 2006 or something like that.
We had gotten into that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Instead of working at the shit job I was at in 2006.
Honey, I need you to go to your people. Tell them we need access to one of their time machines. We don't even need it for a lot. Just go back to 2006 or so. That's all. It's a small favor.
You can't see, but I'm staring at him very coolly.
Yeah, we don't say that. We just do it in human things. Okay.
Oh, okay. So yeah, we have a lot of people who are new and old and in between who love talking about erotica and romance and, all the different ideas they have and different thoughts they have. So definitely check that out if you're interested in this type of stuff. I think it's pretty cool. As well, we have Dark Nest, which we mentioned earlier. That's for fantasy erotica, which a lot of the times it's art and stories and role play.
There's all kinds of cool shit.
Yeah. Dark Nest is an awesome place. We took that over. Took that over. We conquered it.
We conquered it.
In November.
As the pod people would say.
November of 2012. So it's been in our possession for over a year and it hasn't burned down yet.
Yeah, it's been doing great actually.
Yeah, no, I'm very impressed. People seem to be liking our changes and they seem to be very happy there, which is important to us. We like nice people and we like being surrounded by nice people, so it's a good place to be. I think that's it for 2013.
Yeah. Though, what you should really do is very sexually, entice people to the Patreon thing.
If you guys donate to our Patreon thing, I'll give you erotic readings in my voice of saying naughty words. Like breasts.
Say, spank me Patreon.
Oh, spank me.
Patron, that's right, yeah. Patreon's the name of the site. Yeah. Patron is the whole term, yeah. Sorry, I had a pod person on.
Spank me, patron. Spank me.
There you go.
Perfect. Do you guys want to be spanked now?
Alright. No, they want us to spank you.
You guys want to spank me now? Is that better?
That's what you were saying.
Right, yeah. Yeah, spank me. Patreon. Alright, this is done. This is a fucking train wreck now. Thanks for being here and being awesome in 2013. I hope that we have not frightened you. And you will come back to us in 2014.
Frightened and aroused.
Oh, I love fright roused. I love being fright roused. Will you fright rouse me?